Alright everyone, well I wasn't going to be making a video on this, but the other day I went to go change this third brake light. When I bought the car I needed an inspection. It was in New Jersey, right, from a used car dealer, so I had to bring it and get an inspection. Guy went through it, said the third brake light was out, but he didn't have one on hand. It's an actual unit that you buy, and he said just have it fixed before the next inspection. I was like, okay, no problem. And well, the inspection, I need an inspection soon. So I went to go change this the other day, and guess what? The brake light being out was not the problem. There's no power going to those wires. I put the thing back together and I said, all right, I guess I got to make a video on this. Now, I guess if you're watching this, I've already tested the fuse, and the fuse has power, right? If the fuse has power, there's a problem somewhere. If the fuse doesn't have power, clearly the fuse is probably blown. But if you're watching this, I guess the fuse is not blown. But let's take this thing off and I'll show you how this whole thing works. This is actually a replacement. So I think what happened was, this is my assumption here, is that this is an LED replacement. Used car dealer, probably saw that this thing was out, went to go replace it, did not work, and he said, forget it. We're not tracking down this problem. Probably check the fuse too. Probably check the fuse as well. And we know this has not been working since I got it, because I brought it to the inspection within a couple of weeks. So this is, I guess what I'm doing here, I guess would be is how to track down an electrical problem that's not obvious. It's not a fuse and it's not the actual device or the actual part on the car. So let's open this thing up and let's take this thing out, and I'll show you what's going on here. Okay, I got you zoomed in pretty far here. This is just two Phillips. Now, you can see right away that we have a replacement here. This is a replacement because this is not an actual plug. This is the plug that came with the replacement. And if we go through down to here, we can see that maybe we can get it out. Can we get it out? Oh, there we go. Okay, so where's the actual color? Light blue and black. This yellow and black like that, that's a replacement. And this we know is not an actual plug from GMC. This is the plug. All right, so let's get a test light and see if we have power here. Clearly we won't have power unless we push on the brake. Yes, we will not have power unless we push on the brake. Let's get that set up and then let's test this. All right, so we have, I don't know if you're off screen, but we have our red lead into yellow, correct? And we have black into black. Now, the brake pedal is depressed. That means we should have power here at the red. So let's hook on to our ground. And if we touch this, this should light up. And we have nothing. Now, what we should do is check the ground and then check the power separately. So we have a known good power. Oh, you can't even see it. We have a known good power right here. This is known good power from the battery. And then we are going to touch the ground lead from, you can see it, from the car that I'm pulling out of that cable from the, you know what I mean? So we have a good ground. The ground is good. The power is no good. Let's check this fuse. Probably should have did that in the first place. but I had figured that the fuse was no good. Okay, fan might kick on for the maintainer. This third brake light, if I remember correctly, is actually a little tricky to find. It's not under like brakes. It's a separate, for some odd reason, it's a separate fuse, if I remember correctly. Because I've done this before. I've checked the fuse on one of these before, like 3 cars ago. It's actually called, you know, give me a minute to look at this. Okay, yeah, so, freaking so stupid. But if you look up here, it's right next to, it's all in the stop section. So it's park, it's you know, I guess a vehicle stop or stop LP. And this is CHMSL. You believe that? It's a 10 amp. That's called Center High Mount Stoplight. And let me get you in here closer. You can see it right here. Center High Mount Stoplight. Dumbest designation in the world. We got a 10 right there. I'll pull it, but I can guarantee you that it's fine. Okay. You can see it right there. That's a good fuse. So let's put this baby back in. Now we can make sure that we have power at the fuse. Let's double check that. Yeah, you can see our voltage there. And it's reading high because I got the maintainer on there. And we got it there. So both sides, I just tested both sides. And we got power. So we have power coming in and power coming out. We obviously checked the fuse, so it's good, but it's nice to do it this way. All right. Okay, so we know for sure the power is going through the fuse, and it's somewhere between this fuse box and the third brake light that is a problem. But the ground is good. It's only the power, because we tested that ground and it was dead on. So let's pull that third-party adapter plug and test the OEM plug. Maybe that's where the problem lies. Okay, I just took this wire off the back. Remember how this came with this light, I assume. And I unplugged it from the OEM plug, which had this little lock on it. And we're going to just double check the continuity of this and make sure this isn't the real problem here. Let's do that now. We're going to set I can actually put it right here so you can see it. We're going to set this to ohms. That's that thing that looks like a horseshoe, right? Continuity is, if you don't know, it means that there's no breaks in this wire. That's what we're looking for. Right now you can see it says OL, which I think that means open loop. But it means open. It means that it's open. But I think OL means open loop. And if we touch this positive and negative together, you'll see it says 0 resistance, or it might say 0.1, yeah, there you go, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. So it's going up in resistance. But basically anything other than OL on this situation is good. Sometimes if you're checking something that's like an O2 sensor or something like that, you need to see a certain resistance, like, I couldn't even tell you, 60 ohms, 5 ohms, who knows what it is. There's a certain level, it's set by the manufacturer, and that's what you want to see. If you see anything other than that, usually means that it's bad. But in this particular case, it really just should be open. So we're going to put our positive, doesn't matter what you do, I'm going to put this on yellow on one side, and then yellow on the other side, and we should see 0. Just double check that I got this correct here, because that didn't do register or anything. That could be our issue, but I highly doubt it. Oh yeah, so 0. 0 resistance, that's good. Now let's try the other wire, that's the negative, the black, 0. See what I did there? Just touched it to the two ends, the positive and negative, and it showed 0 resistance. That means we have continuity throughout. So that's not our problem. Now that we know that this wire is good, Let's plug it into this light that was on the car, and let's check to see if the light works. Because if the light works, this would be great, because then we can just put this thing back in and go about our business. I'm going to touch this to this, and this to this. Yep, look at that. Something is weird with it though, but it does work. It seems like a couple of LEDs are out. But this is good enough to check. This is good enough to install and just leave there until we figure it out. So this light works. That's how we know that something is screwed up here for sure. All right, let's get this thing back installed for now, and let's keep on going. I figured it would be a good idea just to bring up a schematic here. And I'm at this website, charm.li. I'm going to link it in the description. It's free service manuals, and it can be very helpful if you're just trying to, if you're rarely fixing things. Now, obviously, if you're a mechanic, you're subscribed to, extremely powerful pieces of software. This is just, this'll get you by. It's not great. Also, I'm on a very slow computer. It's my wife's old work computer. So I just click GMC. We're at 2000, and I have a 2500, but probably not a good idea to pick a 2500 because you just never know. So let's just pick. Even though they do have 2500 here, which is kind of crazy. But we're just gonna pick the 5.3 1500 YUKON. Let's just pick that. And let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Oh, it looks like I can download it if I wanted to. Repair and diagnose. And, okay, it's got an expand all button. We should do that. We should expand everything. And then, how the hell do you use a Windows computer? Is it Control F? Control F? Nope, Alt F. Oh, maybe it was Control F. So we're going to look for center, high, mount, stop. Oh, beautiful. Here we go. Center, all I did was just search the center, high, mount, stop light, and I found this because I expanded all. You can do that at the top. So can you see? Yeah, a little bit. I'll zoom you in. Let's click this. And would you look at that? It's the freaking thing. Okay, look at that. All right, now, do we need to zoom out? No, this is actually pretty good. All right, yeah, center high mount stoplight is right here. And it looks like this is the ground, and it goes straight through ground service splice pack. All right, it goes to some ground G410. We know that that's good. We could, if we wanted to, let's say it wasn't good, we could look up this G410 and figure out what else grounds to it and then check to see if those things work. And then we could find out, oh, okay, what exactly is happening here. And this is the okay, look at that, light blue. So that makes a lot of sense. Light blue, because that's what we saw as the original wire back there. It goes around, it goes to body wiring harness junction block. I'm not sure what that is, but it goes light blue all the way to there. Let's go back. We have this expanded. Let's go and click Control F. Was that it? It was it. And then let's type in body wiring harness junction block right here. Okay, just tells me a description here. Under the left side of the instrument panel near the left kick panel. Well, I'm looking underneath here, and this got to be it. This thing's got to be it, because I don't see anything else. Is it unscrewing? Is it actually doing anything here? Doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Oh, all right, it is. Yeah. This thing just come off now. Let me see this light. Oh. Hello, we got a junction block here. All right. This thing, I guess, just comes out. I mean, I'm not seeing, am I seeing any? I'm not seeing any blue wires here, though. Okay, there's some, okay, it's clipped here, and then there's a, you just lift it. And, you can't see what's going on, but I just saw it. I just saw it. Okay, I just saw it. Would you look at this? We have ourselves a quote-unquote smoking gun. Look at this. Light blue wire with a plug that's broken. I'm assuming that this plug went into something, but there's nothing back here they could have went into. Oh, would you look at this? Hopefully you can see that. Right there, look at that. Cut wire, light blue, and a whole bunch of other cut wires. Black cut wire too, right next to the blue. Why do they always got to cut the wires? Look how close that is. And now I just thought about something. How do we know that this is the one with power? Right? I mean, we do know technically because when you look at the schematic, it shows a plug. This is the only plug, and it's going from power to the junction block. That's what it says there. I guess I could put up another picture on the screen from when we looked at it. But it only shows a plug this way. So the wire that's here is not the out wire. That's not the out wire. That's the in wire. And this is the in wire from the fuse. But we can, of course, test this by using a test light. We can do that. Okay. That didn't work. There's no power in this thing. So this is not the power wire. All right, we got to look at that. We got to look at that schematic again. Oh, would you look at this? This is light blue also. We got a red herring here. Would you look at that? Look, I didn't even see that. Trailer wiring, light blue. So there's another light blue wire out here. We gotta see if we can find another yellow, another light blue. No, I have a red to a light blue. Look at that. That's got to be trailer wiring. Uh-huh. Okay, look at that. Right up in there. See right there at the top? It's like a wire nut with a red wire. And there's also a light blue. You know that that's trailer wiring. So that red, I bet you any amount of money, that red goes to this trailer brake right here. Okay, so that definitely is the blue wire, and it would make sense that it got clipped from this. That makes a lot of sense. What we need to do now is that we need to find the plug that actually has the power for the third brake light. All right, I did some digging over here, spent a few minutes just studying this, and again, what we need to figure out is that we need to figure out the pin in the plug and its location. So on the schematic, we can go back to this. we know that it's a light blue wire. 1620 is what the designation is, and the pin and the plug is here, C1 and C11, and that's the pin. That's the pin and the plug that go out to the lamp. This is the pin and the plug from the power. See right here is that the fuse, center high mount stoplight, light blue. Also 1620 comes all the way around here, and we come into a D10 and a C2. This right number and letter designation, C1 and then the C2, this is the plug. So if we go back and I'm bringing up this fuse block and where everything goes, C1, body harness, so it's the C1 plug and the body wiring harness junction block. That's what we need, C1. We go over to C1, and here is our pen layout. So again, we have a C11. This is everything in this big plug. The plug color, it tells you everything about the plug right here. Connector part information. This is a 280 series GRY gray plug. It's a gray plug, 68 way. So it's a big honking plug right here. So we're going to go down. C11 is what it was on that schematic. If you remember, I'll go back to it right here. C11 on the C1 plug. Here it is, C11 light blue 1620. Fuse, center high mount, stop block. Okay, so this is it. Now, if we go up to the diagram, we can see that they're calling it right here. This is C12. This is the C line. C1 to C12, we're at C11 right there, and it should be a light blue wire on a gray plug. Now, I also brought up the C2 plug. This is the outgoing. I'm sorry, this is technically, no, this is not the outgoing. This is the incoming power, okay? The other one we just looked at is the outgoing. So, okay, so if we find that pin and we put a test light on that, we should see no power because there is no power here, right? Unless obviously it's broken somewhere close to here, but you would think no. So right here is C2. That's the C2 plug. That's got the power coming into it. I have it right here, D10, light blue 1620, and look what it says here. Fused trailer, center high mount, stoplight feed. It's both. This is the power for the trailer. And that's why this is all screwed up. This is why this is all screwed up. So we need to find two things. We need to go down there, and also let's look at the color. Look at that. Beautiful. The color is light gray. See that? It's a same plug, basically, right? It's a monster plug, but it's light gray. So the light gray is going to have the power, and the other gray, which I guess is just gray, that's not going to have anything. And let's see where D10 is. D10 is on this side, right up in here somewhere. Okay. Now this is confusing to me. It's upside down. All right, I actually don't think this is correct the way they have it. They have A on the bottom. I actually think this thing is inverted. I believe when we look at it, it'll be down on this corner, but we'll double check that. All right, let's get underneath there and figure out what in the world is going on.
All right, so, okay. We have a, I'm assuming this is the gray and this is the light gray. And this makes sense. We have this clipped one right here. It's not in the right location though. But, that doesn't mean anything. That is it for sure. And so I think I was right about this upside down stuff. It's hard to tell, but there's a light blue right in here in the exact spot it should be if the plug was reversed. So this one should have power. We should have 12 volts at that. No, I'm sorry. No. We should not have power there. I'm getting confused. We should be able to put power there and light up that brake light. Let's try that. Let's put power, and that'll check continuity. Let me get a probe. Our two alligator clips together. So we don't have to worry about anything anymore. Alligator clips are connected. Now we have a probe, and we'll just see if we can get in there and just touch it if we can, and we don't want to probe anything we shouldn't be probing either, because we got power here. Okay, you can't see, but that brake light's on. So, yep, brake light is on. Let me do this just so you can feel the same satisfaction that I just felt. See it? Probed on D10, power going straight through. That means, let me just disconnect this 12 volt. Okay, so what does that mean? That means from that junction block all the way back to here is good. There's no breaks. So that means the problem is power into the junction block. Okay, whoever the knucklehead that did this, probably a very long time ago, because we got wire nuts, you can see the light blue wire is here. That's got power, and that's energizing the trailer brake. They cut it from this. They should have made this a three-way. See that? All right, so I'm going to explain this one more time so we're all on the same page here. I don't want you to watch this whole video and not understand the fix that I'm doing. This wire nut has a light blue wire in it and a red wire. That red wire goes to the trailer brake. So they clipped the center high mount stoplight wire and used it for the power. Dumb. They should have just clipped it, they should have wired this into 3 wires. It should have been in this wire nut, 24 years ago or whatever. So what is this thing? This is a junction block. This wire comes in and it connects up somewhere and comes out right here. So all we need to do is just clip this wire that's supposed to come out and put power to it when the brake depresses, right? This thing doesn't do anything. There's no intelligence in here. This is just a junction point. So basically this wire, think about it, this wire just goes through and comes out right here. So it doesn't matter if we connect it up here or connect it here. This has a lot of wire. We're going to clip this zip tie and we'll just wire it right into that wire nut. So we should test this before we go crazy. Let's take this thing and let's just twist them all together. And just see, do you see what I see? Right? Yes, I just got them temporarily twisted together. And now let's step on this brake and see what we got here. Yep, that's all they had to do. You believe this nonsense of what we went through? All right, let's solder these together and then tape them up. All right. Got one of these butane. Just see if it's hot. Oh man, that thing gets hot quick. This is a butane soldering pencil, and it's a Lexa. I'll link it in the description. And it's very convenient because it's small, and you don't have any wires or anything. It gets hot extremely quick. I'm just trying to transfer the heat to the wires. Okay, there we go. It's melting. That's probably good. And the way it works is oh geez, I just touched this thing. Jeez. is that this, you click this, you can hear it, and there's you can see how it's getting hot right there. And it doesn't just shut off. There's a lock right here. You lock it in that position and the flame stays on. It heats this thing up, gets hot extremely quick. It's very, very small. It's lightweight. It's not a crazy amount of money. I'm going to link it in the description. It's really, really handy. Comes with a whole bunch of tips. Yeah, it gives me an opportunity to use the other attachment. I guess that right there. That'll shrink to this. So let's get it started. Lock it. We really don't need it very high, so you can turn the gas down a lot. That's down at, actually, at the minimum it is right now. We'll let that heat up. Just gonna slide this over. And we don't want to melt anything, that's for sure. So we gotta be careful. Heat gun would definitely be better. But let's see how this works. I've never actually used this. Yeah, all right. It's heated up. And I'll just let that cool off. I'll fold this thing over and just put one piece of tape on it.
All right. Well, that that I guess went well, but it is annoying because this person had the opportunity to do it right, and they didn't do it right, and that caused us to go on a wild goose chase to figure out why the third brake light's not working. Now, I guess this probably took me with filming, probably about 2.5 hours. I would say without filming, it would have been an hour and a half. An hour and a half is not that bad, but I also kind of knew what I was doing, I guess you could say. I know how to track down electrical issues on cars of this age and older. The newer cars, I don't have like one of those crazy scan tools. I don't have any of that. Not that it would have helped in this particular case. And I don't have any crazy diagnostic equipment, like Pico like scopes. I don't have that, but it just goes to show you what you can do with some test lights, right? And let me show you what I was using. It's just a really simple thing. Is that I have alligator clips on a wire. So this is factory, and it's only on a short wire, and all I did was solder it to a whole bunch of wire. So what I have here is that I have a black and red, right? I have a black and red on one end and a black and red on the other end. So this is 2 wires right here. It's a big rat's nest, but I'm going to straighten it out now and get it back on the spool. But this allows me just barely to get power from the battery to anywhere I want on the car, right? So this costs nothing. I mean, really, this is like $10 worth of stuff right here. And very handy to have this. I'll go through this in a second. And straighten it all out, put it back on the spool. Now, I also have this. This is a little bit of an expensive tool. This is from Astro Tools. It's got a vice grip on one end and the test light on the other. Now this is probably $30. If you just get like a cheap test light, you're going to spend less than $10. Just double check it every single time you're going to use it. Just make sure the thing works, because those cheap ones, they break after a very short amount of time. This one is handy because you can just clamp it and you never have to worry about anything. Usually those cheap ones just have a little alligator clip. But this you can attach to the battery, you can attach it to a frame, you can do anything with this. It's pretty nice. And what else did I use here? I'm going to link all this stuff in the description. I got this kit. It's a cheap kit. They make a lot more expensive ones, that's for sure. This says Swan Lake 22-piece back probe kit. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. Check it out. This was very cheap, I think, maybe $10 or something like that. It allows you to probe into pins and plugs. It's pretty handy, and they hold too. Like when you probe into the back of a plug or the front of a plug, you really shouldn't. Okay, so this is, I guess I should point this out, is that you really shouldn't probe into the front of a plug, and the reason is because you can stretch out the little metal pin holder piece if the probe is too big. Usually you're supposed to back probe it, where the wire goes into the back of the pin where it's clamped down. That's really what you're supposed to do. But if we did it gentle, and it was all right. And this stuff is very cheap if you use a cheap test light. Even that one, $30, you'll have that for a very long time. I mean, you could have that for the rest of your life probably. That thing is really well made. The Lexavon, that butane soldering pencil, that thing's pretty sweet. I think it's like $30 or something, $40. Comes in a case. You got to buy butane. This butane is not good enough. I'm going to link to the one that's a better quality. Here's what happens is if you don't buy really good quality butane, it gums up the soldering pencil. This is for a Zippo. It's not good enough. See that? 14x refined, 99% pure, 9x, 3x. See this? They're saying no here. You want to get really refined butane. 3x triple refined butane is like the minimum. But this isn't that. And I shouldn't really use this, but I am. But it'll work. It absolutely will work. But over time, I think it gums it up. Okay, everyone. Holy moly, Indiana Jones stuff over here. But we got it done in the end, and that's it. All right, everyone. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya. Oh, for good goddamn sake. Hello? Hello? Sam? What, yeah? What are you talking about? You don't want to sleep? No. All right, so just lay there and do nothing. Okay. All right, buddy? Okay. All right, just relax, okay, pal? You're coming home tomorrow, all right? Okay. All right, love you. Okay, bye. Bye. What is happening? How am I getting phone calls when I have it on Do Not Disturb? Apple, can you please tell me that?